Hi, Jewish Mom. Before I start, I just want to tell you on Friday we got some very, very happy news. Probably you've heard that 3 yeshiva students were kidnapped by Hamas terrorists this past Thursday night. It turns out that one of them, Naftali, who's a 16-year-old student from Yeshivat Makor Chaim, he's actually the son of our friend, Racheli Sprecher Frankel of Nofay Alon. And so I'm hoping in the coming days, actually for several years, I've wanted to write a post about Naftali's family, about he has quite an extraordinary family history, so I'm just waiting now for approval from the family and from the police to post this story, so you can learn more about put sort of a bit of a human face behind these names that all of us are davening for, that they should come home very, very soon, safely, and be back with their families where they should be. For Yaakov Naftali ben Rachel Dvora, for Gilad Michael ben Bat Galim, and for Eyal ben Iris Tishura. So Bezat Hashem, we should be hearing a lot of Besorot Tavot from there. So I just want to start out. I have my parents bring me old New Yorkers, and so unfortunately I'm a few years behind on my New Yorkers. So this is actually an issue of the New Yorker from a year and a half ago. But I was just looking over this morning an interesting article about Dr. Oz, who's famous, who has a famous show about health, so I read something interesting. So it says, the journal says, Oz was brought up to be ambitious and aggressive, and above all else, to win. Oz's parents immigrated to America from Turkey in the 1950s. After his father, a thoracic surgeon, received a scholarship to study in Cleveland, Mustafa Oz, who is now 87, that's Dr. Oz's father, practiced medicine in the United States until a few years ago, when he and Oz's mother returned to Istanbul. He was born in central Turkey near Konya. Mustafa Oz believed in hard work and little else. So Dr. Oz was reminiscing. The only question my father ever asked me was, "Did anyone do better than you?" Oz said with a wistful smile. If I came home proud and excited with a 97 on an exam, he would ask, "Did someone get a higher grade than you?" And if George or Tom got a 98, then I might as well have failed. Okay? So this reminded me of sort of a very, very, very different article, very, very different sort of way of living that I read. I read this past Shabbat in Family First from Sarah Hannah Radcliffe, and this really, really got to me. I read it twice. It was two women, whatever, you'll see. It's a conversation between two women. I said this is from Sarah Hannah Radcliffe. Two women, Dina and Mary, are standing together at a mutual friend's kiddush, admiring the spread. Dina says, "Wow, look at this cake. It's amazing. Don't you wish you could make something like that?" Mary says, "No." Dina, looking a bit surprised, "But look at all this. Do you know that Ruchi made most of it by herself? I could never pull off something like this. Don't you wish that you knew how to make these gorgeous flower arrangements?" Mary says, "No." Dina, "I honestly don't know how she does it. She works full-time, runs a store in her home, participates in community events, and is loved by absolutely everyone. Her kids are always well-dressed and well-behaved. And she herself is always so put together. Doesn't that make you crazy?" Mary says, "No. What's it got to do with me?" Dina says, "What do you mean? When I see how accomplished other women are, I feel so inadequate. Everyone seems to be outstanding at something. Shira's raised thousands of dollars for Chesed L'Chaim. Chani's making a fortune at that business she just started, and Esther's become the interior decorator of this whole city. Don't you wish that you specialized in something?" Mary says, "I do specialize in something. I specialize in mediocrity." Dina, horrified, "How can you say that? Aren't we all supposed to push ourselves?" Mary responds, Listen, Jewish Mom. She says, "I do push myself. I push myself to get out of the bed every morning. I push myself to get dressed. I push myself to get my kids out the door without abusing them. And I think I'm doing quite well considering my personal strengths and weaknesses. It's my firm belief that everyone has to know herself and deal with her own challenges, accept what Hashem gave her, and work with it in its best she can." Dina says, wow, Mary. Wow, Mary. I'm always comparing myself to everyone else and wishing I was like them. I sure wish I was more like you. Wow, isn't that inspiring? So I think that all of us have this tendency, like we see like the perfect mother. We see like the mother who seems to be managing so much or managing so much better than we are. I, in my own life, I have a person like that, someone that I sort of idealize as like this perfect mother, like the mother with like, the amazing mother of the large family who has the full-time job, and she's this very, very big powerhouse. Da, 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 da. And I like look at her and I'm like, wow, how does she do it? And how does she do it? And how does she do it? A few years ago, somebody said something to me that sort of opened my eyes. She said, I was saying, I like how much I admire this person, how every time I would see this person, it would make me feel bad. Like I would see this person that much, I would get like depressed just by seeing this person who made me feel so small and so inadequate and so unimpressive. And she said, I know powerhouses like that. She said, but the thing about them, she said, I have a relative like this, a school principal, like the powerhouse and the full-time job and the large family and da 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 da. She said, but sometimes people like that, like they're powerhouses and so impressive. She said, sometimes like they're a bit lacking in sensitivity, don't you think? And that actually sort of rang a bell. And I was thinking, like I'm a sensitive person. Like living life takes energy from me. For me just to live my life, like I feel life very, very acutely. Things happen in the world, things happen in my family, things happen in my community. And much I take it to heart, like I'm a sensitive person, and because of that, I'm a very empathetic person. I'm a person who tries to help. I'm a person who reaches out to Jewish mothers through JewishMom.com. And because I'm so acutely sensitive, I'm able, I think, in a way, it enables me to move and to emotionally touch other mothers. And if I wasn't so sensitive, if I was like this powerhouse that I was admiring so much, like quite possibly I wouldn't be able to so much. So I think that it's so important, like that everyone realizes, like everyone, like my job, it's not to be looking at that other person, that neighbor, and that what's she doing. My job is just to think to myself, okay, what is my next step in Avodat Hashem? What's the next step that Hashem wants from me to best prepare my mission in life as a mother and a wife and a Jew and a human being? It's my next step in life, my next step in Avodat Hashem, my next step in serving Hashem. Is it now to take, because my kids are going to be home in 40 minutes? Is it now to like lie down for 40 minutes so that I won't yell at them when they come home? That's a good idea. Is my next step in Avodat Hashem, to order pizza tonight so that I won't be stressed out when the kids come home because I will have been cooking and So I'd be like calm and relaxed with them. Is my next step in Avodat Hashem, to get a babysitter for tonight and go out for 2 hours and just do something sort of like relaxing and fun, because I'm stressed out and overwhelmed, as opposed to doing all the impressive things that I could possibly doing to impress other people and what is my next step in Avodat Hashem so I can be the best mother and Jew and wife and person I can be, okay? Without the comparisons. So I want to bless all of you Jewish moms. Somebody once told me an amazing idea. She said, I realized that the only person I should be competing with is myself yesterday. Slowly, just thinking, how can I today be a better person, a better mother, a better Jew? How can I today better take my next step, my own little step in Avodat Hashem?